Hi guys, this story is coming out of RT. Pentagon rejects Russian evidence that Turkey's aiding ISIS and basically taking ISIS oil. Um, this is Colonel Stephen Warren, and basically this is the story. Pentagon spokesman, basically on the NATO Obama Kool-Aid, says Russia's evidence of Turkey's involvement in oil deals with the Islamic State militants, Turkey, which is a great partner, just a day ago, after his boss complained to Congress that Ankara was not fighting ISIS enough, said, "Let me be very clear," words of Obama, "that we flatly reject any notion that the Turks are somehow working with ISIL," said Colonel Stephen Warren, spokesman of the U.S.-led coalition fighting against the Islamic State. That it is preposterous and kind of ridiculous. We absolutely flatly reject this notion. They flatly reject that an Islamic nation or a nation in the Arabic Peninsula that has ties to NATO and the United Nations could be taking oil from another Islamic country. When he in the background, folks, let me show you this one pic real quick. He in the background, folks, this is the new symbol that I talked about several months ago. Literally is giving a speech with a parody of the Muslim Brotherhood flag in the background, which is the current symbol for the war against ISIS. And this is I already went into this symbol before, and you guys kind of get the idea here that this is a two-headed coin. And I understand why they want to say that their partner is not doing this, and it makes great sense. But I think if someone is doing something, they need to just come out and say, "Look, we've known, but these areas will do this, and this is the politics thereof." And basically, he's going with President Recep Erdogan by saying that these guys are not for aiding the militants and smuggling oil. The Turks have been a great partner to us in the fight against ISIL. Not sure how much fighting they've actually done, but I really hope most of it has been done the way that everybody says it has. They're hosting our aircraft. They're conducting strikes. They're supporting the moderate Syrian opposition. Warren told reporters weekly Pentagon briefing from Operation Inherent Resolve. That's the symbol that you saw in the background. I was going to get to that. Headquarters in Baghdad. They've been good partners here. Any kind of thought that the Turkish government is somehow working with ISIL is just preposterous and completely untrue. But as you know, NATO is basically a double-edged sword here, and probably taking, and has been known to supposedly take the ISIL oil anyways. You got to think, if they're getting it out of the ground, they got to store it somewhere. Doesn't matter who in the area is doing it. This is the situation. And one last little comment. Just the other day, U.S. Defense Secretary Ash Carter was telling House Armed Services Committee that most of Turkey's military operations were directed against the Kurds rather than the self-proclaimed Islamic State. So, double-edged sword here, folks. Lots of people saying their own part, saying what NATO and the White House and the Pentagon and everybody have been paying them to say. They're trying to fight wars on every front with allies and enemies in their own back pocket, and just like Vietnam and every other war, when you go to the ground there's 6 or 7 different areas, 6 or 7 different people aiding 6 or 7 different objectives, some for the enemy, some against the enemy. Others, as you know, in different groups thereof. If I were to have actually guessed this, I would honest to God believe, and not just because of what Russia said, but I would believe that the Turks are partaking in the ISIS oil. And I would have to believe beyond any doubt that most, if not all, the nations in the area are, especially if the substance of the oil is of good quality. If it is of good quality, then yes, I believe most of the partners in the area are partaking of the ISIS oil. Because 1, you want it out of the ground, and 2, you want it stored. 3, if it's done right, you'll let a third party do it. But, do I believe Turkey's involved? Yes, I do. I also believe NATO's involved in the buying and selling of the oil, but that's something we'll never know even from the Russian side. That's just my guess on it. I'm not even trying to start anything with anybody, but I just believe that beyond any doubt. Because these globalists, when they set up these agendas, folks, they don't just do it for one angle. They do it for all angles. Whoever's running the show, folks, that's who the globalists support, and they don't want, for some reason or another, these guys are running the oil, and the globalists are allowing them to do it. So that means the globalists are getting the oil somehow, folks. Whether it be Turkey, whether it be people in Syria, any number of people anywhere. I mean, the economy has to move, folks. And this is just one more notch in the belt. Thank you, guys. I don't want to go over my time.